Have you ever found yourself questioning the authenticity of the moon landing? An intriguing question, isn't it? Today, we're diving headfirst into the world of lunar enigmas, a world where the boundary between fact and fiction is as blurred as the dark side of the moon itself. In the summer of 1969, humanity achieved what was once thought impossible. Apollo 11, NASA's triumphant mission, placed the first humans on the moon. But as the dust settled from the euphoria of this monumental achievement, a new narrative began to emerge. Almost as soon as Neil Armstrong took his iconic one small step, conspiracy theories began to surface, like moon dust kicked up by an astronaut's boot. These theories questioned the very authenticity of the moon landing, casting a shadow of doubt over what was hailed as the pinnacle of human achievement. Some skeptics pointed to the stark absence of stars in the photographs taken on the moon. Where had all the stars gone? They asked. Could it be that the photos were actually taken in a studio, and the starless black backdrop was merely an oversight by the creators? Then there was the American flag, planted firmly by Buzz Aldrin, appearing to ripple and wave in the photographs and footage. This seemed strange, considering the moon has no air to facilitate the waving of a flag. Was it all a grand spectacle? The theorists wondered, and let's not forget the timing of it all. Amidst the Cold War, the space race was a battlefield of its own, with the United States and the Soviet Union vying for dominance. Could the moon landing have been a well-crafted propaganda piece, a show of power to tip the scales in favor of the United States? These questions, these theories, they linger, like an echo in the vast expanse of space. They've woven a complex tapestry of doubt and intrigue that continues to captivate the global imagination. But how much truth do these theories hold? Stay tuned to find out. One popular theory suggests that astronauts couldn't have survived the journey through the Van Allen radiation belts. Is that so? Well, let's start by understanding what the Van Allen radiation belts are. Imagine two colossal donuts of energetic charged particles, primarily protons and electrons, encircling our planet. These are the Van Allen radiation belts, named after the scientist James Van Allen who discovered them in the late 1950s. These belts are held in place by Earth's magnetic field, and pose a significant challenge to space travel due to the high levels of radiation. Now, the Apollo missions undeniably had to pass through these radiation belts on their way to the moon. But did this spell certain doom for the astronauts? Not quite. NASA knew about these belts and had a plan. The Apollo spacecrafts were designed with a protective shield that, combined with the fast trajectory of the craft, minimized the astronauts' exposure to the radiation. This journey through the Van Allen belts lasted about 4 hours, and the astronauts were within the most dangerous high-radiation areas for only a fraction of that time. According to NASA's calculations, this resulted in their receiving a dose of radiation equivalent to about a chest X-ray. But don't just take NASA's word for it. Independent scientists and experts have scrutinized the data and concurred with these conclusions. Even Dr. Van Allen himself stated that the radiation levels within the belts, while high, were not lethal over the short period of time that the Apollo missions passed through them. Of course, prolonged exposure to such high levels of radiation would indeed be hazardous. However, the swift passage of the Apollo missions through the belts ensured that the astronauts' exposure was kept well within safe limits. In conclusion, while the Van Allen radiation belts are a significant hurdle in space travel, they are not an insurmountable one. With careful planning and protective measures, astronauts can and have safely journeyed through them. So, the Van Allen radiation belts, while dangerous, were not an insurmountable obstacle for the Apollo missions. Another theory revolves around the American flag that appears to wave in the moon's atmosphere. But is there more than meets the eye? Now let's break it down. You've seen the footage, the flag seemingly fluttering in the moon's breeze, but wait, doesn't the moon lack an atmosphere? So how could a flag wave? This conundrum has fueled many conspiracy theories over the years. The flag's apparent motion has a straightforward explanation. NASA, well aware of the moon's airless environment, designed the flag display accordingly. The flag wasn't just any ordinary flag, it was affixed to a horizontal rod that extended from the top, giving it the appearance of flying in the wind. But what about the fluttering? Well, the flag was made of nylon, a lightweight material, and when the astronauts were installing it, their actions caused the flag to move. Without air resistance to slow it down, the flag continued to oscillate longer than it would have on Earth. It's not a breeze, but good old inertia and momentum at play. Some claim they see the flag move when no one is touching it. But this is likely due to the poor quality of the 1960s video footage, which makes the flag appear to ripple when the camera moves. To further debunk this theory, let's bring in some expert opinions. Physicists agree that the flag's movement is consistent with the laws of motion. In the vacuum of space, once an object is in motion, it stays in motion until an external force acts upon it. And in the case of the moon, with its negligible atmosphere, that external force is practically non-existent. In conclusion, the flag conundrum isn't really a conundrum at all, just a combination of clever design, physics, and perhaps a touch of cinematic drama. So the next time you see that iconic footage, remember it's not the flag that's moving, it's the science. So the waving flag, while puzzling at first glance, is not evidence of a hoax. And what about the missing stars in the moon landing photos? A cause for suspicion or a simple explanation? Let's delve into this prevalent question. Many conspiracy theorists point to the lack of stars in the moon landing photos as a glaring inconsistency, a missing piece of the puzzle that suggests foul play. But is there more to the story? To understand this, we first need to comprehend how cameras work, particularly in relation to exposure settings. You see, capturing an image is all about controlling the amount of light that reaches the film or sensor. This is managed through shutter speed, aperture, and ISO settings. Now imagine you're an astronaut on the moon. It's brilliantly lit by sunlight, and you're taking a photo of your buddy who's bouncing around in his bright white spacesuit. To correctly expose this image, you'd need to set your camera to let in a small amount of light. This is because too much light would overexpose the image, turning your astronaut friend into a blob of bright white light. But here's the catch. Stars, while they might look bright to us on a clear night, are actually incredibly dim in comparison to the bright lunar surface. So with our camera set to limit light intake, those distant stars simply don't register. They're there, but the camera just isn't sensitive enough to capture them in these conditions. This concept is backed by numerous photography experts and scientists. They argue that to capture both the brightly lit astronaut and the distant stars in the same shot, you'd need a camera with an exceptionally high dynamic range, something that was not available in the late 60s. So the absence of stars in the moon landing photos, it's not some grand conspiracy or clever cover-up, but a simple matter of exposure settings and the limitations of technology at the time. So the absence of stars, while intriguing, is not proof of a conspiracy. So where does all this leave us in our quest for the truth? Well, we've journeyed through the lunar enigma, traversed the Van Allen radiation belts, grappled with the waving flag conundrum, and pondered over the missing stars mystery. Each of these points has been a cornerstone of the moon landing conspiracy theories. But as we've seen, they all crumble when confronted with facts, logic, and a little bit of scientific understanding. The lunar enigma, with all its peculiarities, can be explained by the physics of a low-gravity environment and the interaction of light with lunar dust. The Van Allen radiation belts? They're formidable, yes, but not an impassable barrier. With careful planning and fast travel, astronauts can and did make it through without receiving lethal doses of radiation. And that waving flag? It's not a sign of a secret studio breeze, but a testament to the properties of inertia and momentum in a vacuum. As for the missing stars, well, they're not missing at all. Camera settings optimized for capturing bright lunar landscapes simply weren't sensitive enough to capture the faint light of distant stars. These conspiracy theories, as tantalizing as they may be, have been debunked time and again by numerous experts. They've stood in the face of relentless scrutiny and have emerged unscathed. It's a testament to the strength of the scientific method and the value of critical thinking. It's always important in our quest for truth to question, to probe, and to doubt. But it's equally important to listen, to learn, and to accept when our doubts are met with incontrovertible evidence. The moon landing wasn't a grand hoax, it was a grand triumph, a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. It was a feat that united the world in awe and wonder, marking a pivotal moment in our history. In the end, the moon landing remains one of humanity's most incredible achievements, and no amount of conspiracy theories can take that away. Thank you for watching our video on the moon landing conspiracy theories. We hope you found it informative and engaging. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to our channel for more videos on science, history, and exploration. Don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends and family to help spread accurate information about the Apollo moon landings. Together, let's continue to explore the wonders of the universe and inspire future generations to reach for the stars. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep dreaming.